Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to give you guys a quick update on where we are at in the wealth transfer and talk about some of the different investments and a few of the things that we are expecting, especially prophetically, and what's going to take place in the stock market. I'm also going to discuss a Clement Prophecy, another one that just came to pass. Now, first of all, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. And if you guys like these videos that I make or you want to support, those links are down below in the description and also the comment section, the Patreon, PayPal, and so on. Now, there's a few things dealing with the news that I want to discuss. And, one of those things is the Elon Musk and creating a new political party and Clement. And I do have a full video coming on this because it's not just about this prophecy, but the prophecies that surround the formation of this new political party, how long it's going to take for the party to be established, and some of the other events that surround this. And so you can see here from this tweet from Elon Musk, and he's been talking about starting this new party. And it's just kind of weird because it's Elon Musk starting this party, and then you have this prophecy confirmation with Clement. And he's been posting about starting a new political party because he's not happy with the budget and the overspending and all that stuff, right? So he says here, by a factor of 2 to 1, you want a new political party and you shall have it. When it comes to bankrupting our country with the waste and graft, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Today, the America Party is formed to give you back your freedom. He's been discussing this since last month in June, and I've been keeping my eye on it. And I did respond to this because this is prophetic and of what Clement said. And I said, Elon Musk doesn't realize how prophetic this is, a prophecy given by Clement 13 years ago. April 13th of 2012, and the voice of Esther is about to arise. The voice of Esther is about to arise, God said. In the next few years, I will raise up a party that I've told you about. He shall be neither Republican nor Democrat. They shall be the American party, and they shall stand for what is right, God said. Watch me how I raise it up in this nation. So he's using Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a very wealthy person, and so he's going to be able to get this ball rolling on this party, and he can use his own money. And then on November the 13th of 2013, he says, there's an American party that's emerging, a party that's going to outdo the Republicans and the Democrats, a party that is going to stand up for what is right. Of course, they'll have their flaws, but you can see the disintegration and discord that's taking place in this nation that's coming to an end. All right, so he named the party, and this is what it is. This is the America Party. And so what Clement saw all those years ago is coming to pass, and that's very important. So I have a full video coming out on this that I've already recorded, so I can go over these prophecies and other prophecies related to this, and you can have a better, clear picture of what's going to be happening in the future. Now, the next thing is the whole thing with the Ripple SEC case, and they're both going to just drop the case. They're going to drop their appeals, right? And this thing should be over here shortly. We've been waiting for 6 months for this, and you would have thought that it would have already taken place. And it seems like we keep getting announcements that this case is settled. It's not going to have that big of effect on the markets as if this had happened back in, say, January or February, right? I thought it was going to be one of the first cases dropped, but this is going to be related to what I'm going to be talking about later with the SEC. The Ripple case is still not dropped. I think there's a lot of things that are being delayed on purpose so they can let all the bulls out at once, and I'll get into that later on in the video. The other thing that I've been talking about since 2022, you can go back to some of my videos and also in the Telegram, I've talked about this, and this is about the dormant wallets that are from the Satoshi era, from like 2009 to 2012 or so, and these are wallets that have been sitting for years and years and years. And this tweet here says, dozens of dormant BTC wallets from Satoshi era are waking up. Massive amounts of Bitcoin are being moved to centralized exchanges. Something big is happening here, red flag. Now, I've shared this with you guys from time to time that these wallets, these old Bitcoin wallets, are going to be waking up, and this is exactly what's happening. Now, some people are suggesting, right, that it could be the hack. They either got, this person says here, they either got hacked or they're finally ready to retire. Now, I've shared with you that there needs to be a lot more Bitcoin on the exchanges, folks, and because there's only like just a little bit over 2 million. And there's what, 19 million Bitcoin. So if there's going to be a dump, you're going to see even more wallets becoming undormant. That is another sign. This was a total so far from the research, about 80,000 Bitcoin that woke up all at once. So look out for more of that. What also is going to be important is what exchanges that some of these Bitcoin is going to. So pay attention to that. Dow Jones has been making record highs. The Dow Jones currently sitting at 44,828. It reached a high of 45,000. Now, one of the things that I am doing is I am looking for the top of the Dow Jones. When things seem at their worst, the dinar revaluation, the Dow at 20,000 points. There are other prophecies that say that the Dow will go below 10,000. I'm talking about old prophecies. The NASDAQ is up over 20,000. The NICE is up over 20,000. Right? S&P is doing well. Russell's doing well. And we're going to get into a little bit more about that because, you know, we're expecting some rate cuts. So I'm expecting the Dow to go even further up. And that's the whole thing, folks. It's going to be important for me in my plan. And what I'm sharing with everybody else is, you know, where is the Dow going to go? Is it going to go to 50,000? Despite the state of the economy and people working 2 or 3 jobs, you know, inflation and everything else, we still haven't seen a lot of the things that we thought were going to happen yet in this nation. Just as an example, getting rid of the IRS, right? They haven't started working on that. But the Dow is important because it relates to some of the Bashir nuclear power plant prophecies where when that event happens, the economy is already going through some things, and it's just going to be another black swan event that hits the stock market. And I want to let you guys know that it's going to take more than one black swan event to take down the crypto and the stock market. I think there's going to be a lot of other smaller events. All right, so Bitcoin is sitting at 108,000, Ethereum at 2,500, XRP at $2.21, Dogecoin at 16.5 cents, Cardano 57 cents, XLM at 23 cents, Shiba Inu at 401146. Now, Shiba Inu, they're getting ready to make some announcements relating to the whole project, and I got some things I'm going to be sharing about that as far as Shibarium, Shiba Inu, and a few other things. Now, I shared with you about XRP and how the SEC and Ripple, they're going to go ahead and just drop their cases, and something they should have done 6 months ago. And it just seems like everything's just kind of delayed with the SEC. You know, they've been delaying decisions relating to ETFs and many other important things relating to crypto. And so it's almost like they're waiting for a time period where they're just going to approve everything at once. And that's what it kind of looks like to me. The Federal Reserve, they just set up some new rules for crypto so banks can do more with crypto and their clients, right? So that was necessary. So you're going to see a lot more crypto adoption within the banking industry. Banks aren't necessarily going away. They're just changing. So when people talk about the banks are going to crash and stuff, no, a lot of banks are just going to change with the economic environment that is currently taking place, and that is cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is the future, at least in the short term, and that's where banks and other financial institutions are trying to prepare for that. We also have the stablecoin and crypto regulation bills that still need to be completely passed and signed by President Trump. So these are all things that I believe that if they were to do all these things within a, let's say, 2-month time period, right? Because that's what I'm looking at, where for about 2 months, we can see all these different ETFs be approved, you know, one crypto at a time or several cryptos at a time, other SEC decisions that affect the crypto markets. You have the stablecoin legislation when it gets signed by President Trump, and then you have the crypto regulations. All these things, when they're passed, are going to be boost to the markets. And that's just only some things. You have these trade deals that hopefully get approved. And so when most of those, the big ones, get finalized and done, that's going to be huge. And I think that's going to be happening during this 2-month period. And then hopefully we get the rate cuts in July. So if we don't get the rate cuts in July, we should get them in August, but it'll still be within that time frame. And so these are all things that will boost the markets, but you guys have to understand something, that the stock market does not reflect the economy. The economy is in shambles. So we've discussed where Bitcoin's top may be, and whether it's from the prophetic or whether it's from what the world is saying. In this cycle, we could be seeing up to 150,000. But I have this whole thing planned out how I am going to operate and how these events are taking place from the most accurate prophetic and the most accurate, financial advisors that know how to read the charts, that know how to not just read the charts, but actually be able to read the entire market. And there's only a few people that can actually do that very well. Also, too, don't forget that Firepoint is going to reopen the WeFunder. So you guys need to hold back some cash, because I believe that God has given another opportunity for people to get involved in the WeFunder. And there's a lot of people that came against it, not just in the natural, but in the spirit. And I'm not going to elaborate on that, but there's a lot of attacks that are happening with this company on that level. So I want you guys to look out for some of these videos that are coming out relating to what to expect in the future and to prepare yourself, as I have been doing. Nobody else is going to show you the most accurate prophetic revelation that's out there concerning these markets. So I believe that God is giving us this peace window that's going to allow us to watch Bitcoin rise and to watch the Dow rise. And hopefully we will reach at least some old all-time highs and maybe some new ones with some different cryptos. And who knows how long this is going to take before we see the crash with Bitcoin and the Dow and all that, right? So right now you're focused on two things. You're focused on where the markets are going, and you're trying to figure out the top so that you can sell. And then you're learning how to profit when Bitcoin and the stock market begins to crash. Those are the things that you guys should be working on. So the crypto bulls, they're going to be released, folks, and I believe that's coming, and we're going to get a good bull run. And just hold on and just keep preparing and keep learning, and make sure that you are following your plan. So that's all that I have for this update. Look out for the videos that are coming. Thank you guys for listening. God bless.